Some years ago, I had to cross the border between Spain and France. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning, so I thought the police would pretty much wave me through. Nope, they wanted to have a little chat. Maybe they were bored. They asked to see my passport, which, fair enough. But then it went on and on. Finally, they asked me what I think has to be the most ridiculous question ever. Are you carrying drugs in the vehicle? What do you reckon? If you were not carrying drugs, you would say, no. If you were carrying drugs, you would say, no, obviously. So I don't know. It was 3 a.m. I was tired from driving 12 hours straight, and maybe I'm just a bloody stupid idiot. But I replied, yeah, I've got 2 kilos of cocaine in the boot. Step out of the vehicle, sir. What? Why do they call you sir? Sir is a sign of respect, and they are accusing you of being a low-life criminal. Just be straight with me and call me scum. My attempts to explain that I was just joking fell on deaf ears. All the suspicious box loaded in the back were no doubt illegal substances and not simply my personal possessions. 20 minutes later, they let me go. I should have told him to chill out and offer him a joint. Sometime later, I met a police officer and told him that story. He turned on me and said, "You're a bloody idiot. You don't ever joke about stuff like that with the police." Someone else who needed a puff of weed. Many years ago in Australia, when they first brought out speed cameras, there were many questions as to how accurate they were. Finally, a reporter tested their system and demonstrated that a tree was traveling at 20 kilometers an hour. The police had to hurriedly get the cameras recalibrated, and when the public discovered that all the cameras had been removed, there was a party. People going crazy, speeding all over the place, so the police had to dig out their old radar guns. One night, they caught a car doing over 180. When they pulled the driver over, they were shocked to find that it was a naked guy. They discovered that he'd been drinking too, but that was pretty much overlooked by the fact that he had been shagging his girlfriend whilst driving. But don't charge him, give him a medal. What a champion! In one of my jobs, I had to occasionally read police reports with transcripts of interrogations. Do they still call them interrogations, or is there a more public-friendly term like helping the police with their inquiries? Anyway, I read about a guy that had had a car crash, and the officer asked him what had happened immediately prior to the collision. Now these are word-for-word transcripts, so this is seriously what he said. I closed my eyes and screamed, "Fuck!" There wasn't anything recorded in the transcript, but you know that the officer must have broken down in tears and said, "Oh my fucking God." But to his credit, he kept calm and just replied, "What I mean is the events leading up to the collision." In America, almost 20% of offences are linked to alcohol. Crimes committed because some stupid bum has gotten drunk. In Britain, it's over 50%. Police officers have to put up with that shit all day, every day. Put yourself in their shoes, or jackboots, and give them a break. Finally, an article that was published in an Australian police journal about an accident that occurred on a country road. An old farmer was riding in his horse-drawn cart when some twat coming from the opposite direction and going much too fast clobbered him. The first policeman to arrive on the scene discovered the poor horse who had borne the brunt of the impact head on. It was in a lamentable state, and the officer had no choice but to pull his gun and shoot him in the head. Nearby, the farmer's dog had also suffered horrific injuries and was howling in pain. Ow! Sorry, nah, it's not funny. Anyway, the policeman had to shoot the dog. Play dead. Good boy. Who's a good boy? Okay, I'm just making this shit up. And we shouldn't joke about things like that. So the officer walks over to the smashed up cart, and the farmer is lying there covered in blood, and he looks up scared and he shouts out, I'm okay, don't shoot. Now supposedly this was a true story, but I think the police were just trying to show that they do in fact have a sense of humour. Just don't test it. If you know a police officer with a sense of humour, share this with them. I hope they can see the funny side of this, and that I'm trying to get people to be more understanding of their difficult job. I'm the social evolutionary. Peace on, or peace off.